Picture this. It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're sitting at your kitchen table, laptop open, half-eaten bowl of instant noodles sitting cold to your left, a notebook filled with scribbled budget breakdowns to your right. You just finished reading your fourth personal finance book this month, and somewhere between chapter 9 and chapter 12, something clicked. You thought to yourself, I get this. I actually get this, and I want to share it with everyone. That right there is where every single story in this space begins. Every personal finance influencer with millions of subscribers, every blogger pulling six figures in passive income, every podcast host with a waiting list of brand sponsors. They all started in that exact same moment. A kitchen table, a revelation, a decision. Today, we are walking through the entire journey. From the very bottom rung of the ladder, where your biggest audience is your dog and maybe your mom if she figured out how to use the subscribe button, all the way to the top, where your content is generating more passive income than most people make working 40 hours a week at a job they quietly resent. This is your life as every personal finance blogger and influencer rank. Let's get into it. You post your first blog entry. The title is something like, How I Paid Off $8,000 in Credit Card Debt in 14 Months. You spent 3 hours writing it. You proofread it twice. You hit publish, lean back in your chair, and wait. Day 1, 2 views. One is you checking to make sure it published correctly. The other is a bot from somewhere overseas. Day 2, your mom shares it on Facebook. You get 7 views. You feel like a celebrity. This is the bottom, the nobody stage. And I say that with nothing but respect, because this stage is not a failure stage. It is a foundation stage. You are figuring out your voice. You are figuring out what content actually resonates with real people. You are learning the very important difference between writing what you want to write versus writing what people actually need to read. At this level, your monetization strategy is essentially non-existent. You are not making money. You are spending money on your domain name, on a basic website theme, a microphone you bought because you spontaneously decided to launch a podcast that nobody asked for yet. Your financial content at this stage tends to be deeply personal. It is raw, it is honest, and ironically, that rawness is exactly what will eventually attract your first real audience, but you do not know that yet. Right now, you are just trying to figure out why your analytics dashboard looks like a flat line on a hospital monitor. The lesson at this stage is brutal but simple: consistency over perfection. The bloggers who survive this phase are not the ones who wrote the best content on day 1. They are the ones who still showed up on day 90 when absolutely nobody was watching. That discipline, that stubbornness, that irrational commitment to a thing that hasn't proven itself yet, that is the earliest form of financial discipline you will ever practice in this career. Something shifts around month 4 or month 5. One post takes off. Not viral, not even close, but it gets shared in a Reddit personal finance thread, or someone links to it from a Facebook group, and suddenly you go from 40 monthly readers to 400. This is where momentum begins. You now have somewhere between 500 and 5,000 followers across your platforms. You know most of them by name, or at least by username. You reply to every single comment because you still have time to do that. And honestly, because every comment still feels like a gift somebody left on your doorstep. Your content starts to get more structured at this point. You are not just journaling your financial journey anymore. You are beginning to understand search engine optimization. You are learning that a title like How to Save Money gets buried under 10,000 other articles, but a title like How I Saved $1,200 in 1 month by cutting these specific subscriptions actually shows up when real people with real money problems are searching for answers at midnight. Monetization begins here, but barely. You join an affiliate program, maybe a budgeting app, maybe a credit card comparison service. Your first affiliate commission check is something like $12.40. You screenshot it. You post it in a finance creator group somewhere online. Everyone congratulates you like you just closed a Series A funding round. And you should be proud of it, because that $12.40 is not just money. It is proof that the model works. It is the seed of something that, with enough time and enough consistency, will eventually compound into something extraordinary. Sound familiar? It should. It is the same principle you have been writing about. The biggest challenge at this stage is doubt. You are spending 10 to 15 hours a week creating content. You are not breaking even on your time investment by any reasonable financial metric. People around you are starting to gently and sometimes not so gently ask when you are going to give up this little side project. Some of you will actually give up here. The ones who don't, the ones who treat $12 like proof of concept and keep building, they are the ones this story is really about. At some point, you stop trying to cover every single personal finance topic under the sun, and you start owning one lane completely. Maybe it is debt payoff strategies. Maybe it is index fund investing for millennials. Maybe it is personal finance specifically for nurses or teachers or freelancers or recent college graduates drowning in student loans. Whatever it is, you plant your flag firmly in that ground. This changes everything. You now have somewhere between 5,000 and 50,000 followers. Your email list, which you finally started building because some podcast interview convinced you that social media followers are rented and email subscribers are owned, your email list is sitting in the hundreds and climbing. Brands are starting to notice you. Small brands, but real brands. A fintech startup slides into your messages. A budget planner company wants to send you product for a review. These deals are not life-changing money yet, but they are validating in a way that is hard to overstate. A company with an actual marketing budget has decided your audience is worth paying to reach. That is a data point that matters. Your content strategy at this level is sharper than it has ever been. You understand your reader the way a good financial advisor understands a client. You know exactly what keeps them up at night. You know whether your audience is more anxious about their student loans or their complete lack of an emergency fund. You write directly into their financial anxiety and you hand them specific, actionable, tested solutions, and they trust you for it. This is also the stage where your personal financial life becomes a direct reflection of your brand, and you feel that pressure every single day. You cannot credibly tell people to max out their Roth IRA contributions if you have not opened yours yet. The best creators at this level are actively living the advice they give. Their personal finance journey and their content strategy have become the same thing, running on parallel tracks toward the same destination. Income at this stage might be anywhere from a few hundred to a couple $1,000s per month. It has not replaced the day job yet, but the trajectory is pointing somewhere that looks undeniably interesting. This is where things stop feeling like a side project and start feeling like a business. You have crossed 50,000 followers on at least one platform. Your monthly content traffic is substantial. Brands are no longer reaching out with product samples and gift cards. They are reaching out with real budgets, sponsored content deals worth hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Your affiliate commissions have started showing up as a meaningful line item in your own personal budget spreadsheet, which is somewhat poetic. At this level, personal finance content creation can genuinely compete with and sometimes completely surpass your primary employment income. The diversified revenue model starts to crystallize in a way you always read about, but are now actually living. You have affiliate commissions flowing in from financial products you have genuinely vetted and personally use. You have brand partnerships. You have a digital product, a budget template, an online course, a debt payoff workbook, a membership community that generates sales while you sleep. And that phrase, while you sleep, is not motivational poster language at this point. It is your literal reality. You wake up, reach for your phone, and there are sales notifications from purchases made while you were unconscious. Compound interest in traditional investing is often called the eighth wonder of the world. Compound audience growth is the personal finance creator's version of the exact same miracle, and you are watching it happen in your own analytics dashboard every single morning. Your community at this stage is your most valuable asset, worth more than any individual brand deal or product launch. These are people who genuinely trust your recommendations. When you say a particular high-yield savings account is worth opening, your audience actually opens it. When you say a specific book changed your financial perspective, it goes on their reading list.
That level of influence, wielded responsibly and honestly, is a genuine force for good in tens of thousands of people's financial lives. The responsibility that comes with this reach is real, and it grows heavier the further you climb. You are no longer just some person sharing their debt payoff journey online. You are a trusted source of financial guidance for a significant number of people who are making real decisions with real money based partly on what you say. The obligation to be accurate, to disclose conflicts of interest completely, to never recommend something you would not personally put your own money into, that obligation becomes the foundation of everything at this rank. The creators who honor it keep climbing. The ones who compromise it, even once, often don't recover.
And then there is the top. You have built something that the vast majority of people who ever started in this industry never reached. Hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of followers across platforms. A name that people in personal finance circles recognize without any additional context. A business, not a blog, not a channel, but a fully operational multi-revenue stream business generating income that the person writing that very first budget breakdown post could not have mathematically conceived of. At this level, you are a media company. You have likely hired a team, editors, a social media manager, a virtual assistant, maybe a business partner handling brand relationships while you focus on content and community. You are negotiating long-term ambassador deals rather than one-off sponsored posts. You might be writing a book, headlining a financial conference, building out a course library, or running a paid membership community with thousands of active paying members who show up every month because what you built actually changed something in their financial lives. The beautiful irony of reaching this level is worth pausing on. You started talking about money because you were struggling with money. Now money flows into your life from multiple directions simultaneously because you never stopped talking about it honestly, helpfully, and consistently. But here's the thing that every single person who reaches this level will tell you, almost word for word if you ask them. It was never really about the money. The creators who make it all the way to the top of this industry will point to the email from a single mother who just paid off her last credit card and credited one of their videos. They will point to the 23-year-old who opened their first investment account after watching one of their tutorials. They will point to the couple who avoided bankruptcy because a budgeting framework they shared in a 3-minute video actually worked in real life. The financial results are the scoreboard, but the mission was always financial literacy, always access, always handing people the tools to take control of their own economic lives, regardless of where they started. So here is the question that actually matters. Where are you right now? Maybe you are still at that kitchen table with the cold noodles and the notebook. Maybe you are writing your first post and genuinely wondering if anyone will ever read it. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle, grinding through a plateau, watching your growth slow down, seriously questioning whether this whole thing was a mistake. Here is what the entire history of this space tells us, clearly and consistently. The personal finance creators who made it are not the ones who were the most talented on day one. They are the ones who showed up when nobody was watching, who kept learning when nobody was listening, who kept improving when nobody was clicking, who treated every single reader, every single subscriber, every single comment like it was the most important one they had ever received. Because in that moment, to that person, it was. Your finances are just mathematics. The compound interest formula is not complicated. Time multiplied by consistency applied to any asset, including an audience, including a brand, including a community built around trust, eventually produces something that looks impossible from the starting line. The best investment you will ever make is in showing up every day, every post, every video, every episode, one rank at a time.